Hi everyone, I am Geneter Espiritu from BSN1B, and I am here to teach you about the coronary circulation. Start off with the heart muscle. Heart muscle does not receive oxygen or nourishment from the blood within its chambers. Instead, it is supplied by the coronary arteries. The coronary arteries originated at the base of the aorta, branching out to encircle and to penetrate the myocardium. Additionally, the coronary arteries run along the coronary sulcus of the myocardium of the heart. Their main function is to supply blood to the heart. This is a crucial function for myocardial function and subsequently homeostasis of the body. The arrangement of the coronary arteries varies along or among people significantly. And if these arteries become clogged with atherosclerotic plaques or obstructed by a blood clot, the myocardium is deprived of oxygen, and the patient may develop chest pain or cold angina, or worse, it can develop myocardial infarction or heart attack. Here we have cardiac veins drain the deoxygenated blood from the myocardium into the coronary sinus, which empties into the right atrium. The heart and the blood vessel. The left side of the heart pumps oxygenated blood into the arteries. Then the oxygenated blood returns via the venous system into the right side of the heart. So right over here, I have a pathway of the unoxygenated blood to the right side of the heart. So from superior vena cava to the right atrium, the tricuspid valve, down to right ventricle, then goes back to the pulmonic valve, then the pulmonary arteries. The pulmonary arteries will go to the capillary beds of the lungs where gas exchange occurs, then down to the pulmonary veins, back to the pulmonary vein, left atrium, then down to the bicuspid valve, left ventricle, then to aortic valve, and to the aorta. And the aorta and the branches will go to the capillary beds of all the body tissues where gas exchange occurs. Then it will go back to the unoxygenated blood when it comes to the body, and so on. In this figure, we have the coronary arteries supply the heart muscle with the oxygenated blood. So we have the right coronary artery, from the aorta to the right coronary artery down to the posterior descending artery. Then we have the left side of the aorta, and we have the left main coronary artery, circumflex branch of left main coronary artery, then left anterior descending branch of left coronary arteries, and we have the right and left atrial appendage. And I have said earlier that coronary arteries run along the coronary sulcus of the myocardium of the heart, and the main function is to supply blood to the heart. Next, we have the cardiac cycle. With each heartbeat, the myocardium goes through a cycle of contraction, or we call the systole, and relaxation, diastole. Systole is when the heart ejects the blood into pulmonary and systemic circulation, and diastole is when the ventricles fill with the blood. And here I have the layers of the heart wall. So we have epicardium, which is the outer protective layer of the heart, myocardium, the muscular middle layer, and endocardium, the thin inner layer of the heart. The diastole phase of the cardiac cycle is twice as long as the systolic phase. This is important because diastole or ventricular filling is largely a passive process. So dito daw po mas maraming papasok na blood kapag nag-relax tayo ng heart natin, which is called the diastole. Next, we have the physiology of the cardiac cycle. At the end of the diastolic phase, the atria contract, adding additional volume to the ventricles, and this volume is sometimes called atrial kick or called the P wave. In this table, we have the cardiac cycle and heart sounds. And in sounds, we have two. We have the first and second sound. In the first sound, the beginning of ventricular systole. The sound is caused by the closure of atrioventricular valves, or the tricuspid and the mitral. So we have the sound of the heart is lub-dub. So that is the first sound, the lub. And the second sound, beginning of ventricular diastole, the sound is caused by the closure of the semilunar valves, or the aortic and pulmonic. The second sound is the dub. Okay, the lub, dub, the closure of the salmi-lunar valves. Cardiac conduction system. Cardiac muscle contraction is a mechanical event that occurs in responding to electrical stimulation. Cardiac muscle is unique in that, unlike skeletal muscle, it can generate electrical impulses and contractions independently of the nervous system, and that is called the automaticity. Cardiac conduction system normally controls the electrical activity and contraction of the heart. In this picture, it shows the impulses then spread through the atria via interarterial pathways. These conduction pathways converge and narrow through the atrioventricular node, or called the AV, slightly delaying transmission of the impulse to the ventricles. These delays allow the atria to contract slightly before ventricular contraction occurs. From the AV node, the impulse then progresses down through the atrioventricular septum to the ventricular conduction pathways, or called the bundles of His. The right and left bundle branches and the Purkinje fibers. These fibers terminate in ventricular muscle stimulated contraction. So here we have the first sinoatrial node, or the SA. What we call the pacemaker generates impulses. So through the pathway, we have the AV node, which impulses pause for 1 sec or pause for 1 millisecond. Then third, the atrioventricular or the AV bundle connects the atria to the ventricles. Then the bundle branches conducts the impulses through the interventricular septum. Then last part is the Purkinje fibers, where it stimulates the contraction. These Purkinje fibers stimulate the contractile cells of both ventricles, which are the right ventricle and the left ventricle. Thank you everyone for listening. Again, I am Geneter Espiritu from BS Zone 1B, and I hope you learned something about this.